Hi, I'm Kate. I want to talk to you a little bit about my Isis Oracle that I've recently developed. I'm really excited about this. It works great for divination for others or for yourself. I'm going to show you one of the casts that can be done with this. I'm going to start with the main one, which is the Isis cast. I will pull 13 stones and then we draw the last stone, sort of the activator piece, the 14th stone. The reason that for those numbers is because it follows the mythology of Isis, Osiris, and Set. And when Set killed Osiris, he cut up his body into 14 pieces and spread them all over Egypt. Isis collected all of the body parts with the exception of one. That was his phallus, and she then made one out of gold, and that's how she conceived Horus. So what we do is we find the 13 stones, like follow the path of Isis, finding the 13 pieces of her husband. The 14th piece is what we pull because it's the 14th piece is the activator piece that brings it all together. So I'm going to show you briefly how this works, how it works in action, and then I'll go over some other casts at another time. So first I'm just going to pull quickly as for a general reading. I guess it's for me. When it's for me, let's see how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to let you know about my life. Don't tell anybody. I pull the 13 stones. I usually say a little prayer in my head, and then we cast. In this case, I had 2 stones go right off the board at the top and the bottom, and I'll tell you how to read that. I'm going to try to turn this, show you a little bit how they landed, how I do this, see if we can see it without sliding them off the board. Whoop. I generally, the stones that are face down, the ones that you cannot see the glyph on, represent those energies that are either hidden from you, or some that are maybe in your subconscious, or there's some that you're not really actively pursuing or actively representing in your life at this time, but you might need to. I push the stones where they need to be according to how closely they've landed and in what quadrant. Some of them are obviously in certain quadrants. These all seem to be real obvious what quadrants they're in. And then the middle, where the column is here, whereas represented where the Nile River would run, would represent chakra energies and the flow of these energies through your system and through your life, like the Nile River flows. Alright, so I'm going to do this upside down. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, what the heck. I'm going to do it upside down. So, try to show you. I generally start up here in this quadrant where there's the flail. The flail will represent how you separate the wheat from the chaff. And the things that you're pulling out that are actively important in your life right now. For me, since I just cast these for me, I guess. What showed up in this section is the glyph for an official and the Bennu bird. Okay. The Bennu bird is akin to a phoenix. So it's telling me in this area of my life right now, I gotta die to some of my old ideas and ways of thinking, and I need to put what needs to grow from that is something that's more authoritative, an energy that would be more like getting a grip on things. I need to let things die away and be reborn, but reborn in a way that is confident and secure and moving forward. It's like no time to mess around kind of energy. And again, I'm going to do this real briefly because this kind of spread can take minimum 30 minutes to an hour depending on how in-depth and how much information comes to you at the time. So I normally, not always, follow your intuition. There really are no rules with this, but normally I skip the middle column until I come back around to the bottom here. And I will move clockwise then over to where the Ankh is in this quarter, and that represents your spirit. My spirit right now is showing the old man here, has to do with isolation, And this is the symbol for the star. It's hope. It's about hope. This is telling me something I really already know. I need to get away. I need to have some time alone. I need to be, um, I need to have my own like self-imposed isolation so that I can take a breather. And the star shows me that there is hope here. There's something I'm aiming for, looking for, that guiding light out in the stars. So if I can get my quiet time and get away to adjust my thoughts and allow those old energies that I just talked about die away, allow those old ways of thinking to go away, be reborn, give me new hope and new growth. But I definitely need to move away from that. Moving down again clockwise to this lower quarter where there is an image of the crook used in shepherding, in husbandry, animal husbandry. It represents like how your order in the pack. Where do you rank in society? If are you a hero? Are you talking like a coward? Or if you're a coward, are you talking like a hero? Are you being true to yourself, who you are? In this case, the glyph that I have shown up here is the one for love. So everything that I do, the things that motivate me, it's based in love. I think that's true. But this shows kind of love. I think in this case, I know personally love for family, love for my relationship with my husband, but also this is kind of showing like an elemental kind of love. This glyph often shows not a romantic love, but love that moves through you as an element, that inspires you and motivates you, elementally speaking. The other stone here, you can see, is upside down. So this is an energy I'm not as aware of. Okay, that's the symbol for success. So what that tells me is that I am somewhere in me, in what I'm working on here, I'm lacking confidence. I'm doubting myself. I'm doubting my path. It's hidden there. It's like I'm already a success. What I'm doing is a success. I need to believe it, and I need to start acting on that instead of keeping that energy hidden. It needs to come forward and come out. And the bottom here, I'm going to move. What I'm going to do is as I come around here, I'm going to start to work up the chakras here. And the bottom here is, okay, yeah, make sure that was right side up for you. It's the glyph for choice, like a crossroads. I'm at a crossroads here. There are some things in a very base survival kind of level, like root chakra, survival, grounding, that type of thing. I need to make some choices. I could be like, my back is up against a wall and I need to make some choices. I need to move. I need to make some decisions. And this is what's happening here is in my, then up here would be, there are two, I believe I explained in the book, there are really two chakra systems here. Isis has her, the figure of Isis in here, you will see has her own personal chakra, but then there's the board chakra. So where this falls, we have root and sacral, heart. This would be the throat here, the throat, the third eye, and then over the top where the crown is, where Isis sits, and this is the crown chakra. So where this next one falls is actually on the throat chakra. And this is the Eye of Horus. He's about sacrifice. And the interesting thing about Horus is that when he fought Set to avenge his father's death, he lost an eye in that battle. But when he lost the eye, it was replaced with the moon. So it talks about, yes, you make a sacrifice, but you're making a sacrifice for something so much bigger and so much better and so much more beautiful than you can ever imagine. For me, this is in my throat chakra. And personally, you might not know it by listening to me babble on here, but I have a hard time talking. I have a hard time telling people who I am. I have difficulties expressing myself in that way. avoid conflict, you know, all sorts of those things that I work on. So this is telling me it's really important right now that I speak out, that I talk about me, I talk about like the board, I talk about who I am. Um, it may feel like a sacrifice, it may feel scary sometimes, but what I get in return is going to be bigger and better than any fear that I have right now in regards to that. So that's something that I need to do. Um, on top of that, then, where it falls into the third eye, area of the third eye, is the glyph for a child. This is for beginnings, new beginnings. I think that's interesting. So I think this is talking to me when it's in relation to my third eye, that I will be gaining some new perceptions, new insights, new ways of tapping into my intuition. There are new things coming up for me here. Let's see, I'm reversed. I had to think a minute. There were two pieces that flew off the board. Now, if a piece falls on the rim of the plate, you read it as something that is somewhat outside of the person, but is influencing the reading at the time. Often it will land on a specific glyph, so you read that as well. It could be in line with something. I mean, use your intuition. There's lots of different ways to read this. The ones that fall off the plate, sort of like energies, it could be a divine energy. Could be, you know, one of the glyphs for a god or goddess might show up as sort of saying that this is the energy overseeing your life right now and everything going on within it. So I had two that flew off the plate. One of them was up above where Isis sits, and this is the scarab I got. This shows destiny. This was also turned over right now. So this is something that I'm blocking. I'm not seeing very clearly, or, you know, could relate back to when I was talking about the self-doubt. My destiny. What is in play here that I need to start seeing more clearly and not leave it turned upside down, not have it buried somewhere, is that what I'm doing, where I'm going, how this is affecting me has to do with my life path, has to do with where I'm going in my life. And then the other one that came down over at the bottom half that's the glyph for actually it means road or travel, and when they would write in the hieroglyphs. So this is telling me that there's going to be some movement happening here. Again, this one was upside down too. So because it's upside down, because I know personally I need some movement in my life in various areas, what I'm seeing is that I need to get my act together in certain other areas here before this movement is going to occur. The final quadrant, which has to do with the material world, monetary wealth, kind of the mundane things, the everyday life that you have to deal with, not your spiritual side, but like you're paying the bills side or that type of thing. I have here the glyph for Ba. That is a representation of one of the three aspects of your soul. And what this generally means is it talks about divine intervention. So I need to not worry about finances, for instance, that there's something bigger at play here. There's something bigger and I need to trust it. Sometimes that's such a pain. I need to trust it, that something bigger than me is in play, is watching over this. Don't worry about it. There's one here that's flipped upside down too. I'm going to turn it over to reveal it. And that one is, that's Hathor. That's the symbol for Hathor. And that's a good thing to have in that chord. I'm pretty happy with this reading. She's about abundance. She's about family, love, money, wealth, all the good things that can come to you in your life. She's the goddess that after you go through all the trials and tribulations of moving through Dua, through the underworld after you've died, you go through gate after gate after gate. She's the one, the mistress of the West. She welcomes you to heaven, to nirvana, to, you know, you finally made it, you're there, here's your wealth, here's your riches, here's the beauty. So that's cool. I'm really glad to see her in that particular quadrant right now. Then I draw the 14th stone. And I have oppression. I have oppression. So this is the one that is, because it's oppression, this is the one that's stopping up a lot of the things that are going on in my reading. So instead of like activating it, it's stopping it. And this is like telling me I'm carrying a load I don't need to be carrying. I need to put it down. I need to just put it down and walk away. A lot of it doesn't really belong to me. It's not doing me any good to carry it around. I need to let it go, and I need to work on these other things to allow these things to move, to allow all of those other pieces to fall into place. So, duly noted. That's very briefly, speed talking very briefly, how a reading like this would work on a plate, on the Isis Oracle. There it goes. I'll go through a couple of other casts and readings at another time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, shoot me a message at wormwoodqueen@gmail.com. And also look up Circadiana on Etsy. That's the shop that my husband and I have put together, and you can purchase one of these there if you'd like, and also get more information on that. And that Circadiana is Surcadiana, and that's on Etsy. So hope you enjoy. Thanks.